What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Let's talk about some Pokemon, shall we? So today's video, I'm going to talk about the fighting types. I'm going to talk about all of the fighting types accessible. I'm not going to talk about Megas. I'm not going to talk about Legendaries or Ultra Beasts, stuff like that. And in the context of a Nuzlocke, how good are they, depending on, what games you play, whether it's their main game, the original game, or if there's another game they're in. I'm just going to talk about how good they are in a Nuzlocke sense as a fighting type for your team. So I've got the tiers here. I've got the Goddess, which is going to be the best fighting type on the list. You guys will see that later. We've got S tier, which is striking. A tier, which is awesome. B, which is battle ready. C, which is crippled. And D is for dud. We've got all the fighting types here in, I guess, game order. And let's just go through it. So I think Primeape is really only useful for like the early game of Fire Red, Leaf Green. And then after that, it's just not strong, like, at all. It's really just not strong. It's like kind of fast, which is cool, but not really even like fast enough, I don't think it's anything special. I'm gonna put it in the C tier. Poliwrath. Water fighting can be interesting. You have Belly Drum. You can be a fighting type with Ice Beam, which is all pretty cool. So I'm gonna put you in the battle ready. Swift Swim can be great. Damp can be great. It's got some pretty good abilities too. I think it's got some good things it can do. But also not the most impressive stat-wise. It's kind of just like a filler. Like, you're always going to have a different water type, and you probably want a better fighting type, but you can still kill two birds with one stone. And it's really good on rain teams and stuff. I also do have the trait evolutions for, like, Machoke, Machamp, as well as Girder and Conkeldurr. So Girder? Yeah, I believe his name's Girder. I can never remember this Pokemon's name. Funny enough. It is Girder. Look at me, I did it right. So we'll talk about trait evolutions, and Machoke is, I kind of think it's battle ready, honestly, with either No Guard or Guts. Both abilities are great. You can get Eviolite in later games. I think with Eviolite, it's definitely battle ready. Before that, it's probably here in Cripple. It's kind of like around here, but I think it's just with the abilities, it's going to be decently bulky, especially with Eviolite. And both abilities help it hit hard. No Guard's going to make Dynamic Punch hit, and any rock like Rock Slide, Stone Edge things will hit all the time. And Guts is such a good ability. I think it's battle ready. And I'm going to throw Machamp in awesome tier. I'm actually not going to put him in S tier. But similar reasons, just even bulkier, even stronger. He's a little slow and he's not like crazy bulky. And his coverage could be a little bit better, which is kind of what S tier would be, as the Pokemon I think are just a little bit better. Will be that, but he's very strong. He's very bulky. He's a very reliable fighting type. Hitmonchan, or no, sorry, Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee is also going in the A for awesome tier. It's fast, it's bulky, and it hits really hard. This one's good. This one's really good. It's one of the few fast fighting types. It's not like super fast, which is why it's not like S tier. It's still got some good bulk to it, or the special bulk at least. And still having 120 attack. It's still hitting really hard, and it's a perfect like bulk up user, because you just patch up the low defense and even get yourself stronger, and you're fast, so you can bulk up before you get hit, so you can tank hits a little bit easier. And then the speed. Yeah, doesn't really have the best abilities, so I'm not going to put it like near the top of A tier, but I think it definitely belongs in A tier above these other guys. Hitmonchan's also going to go in A, pretty much just for coverage, especially when you get Iron Fist. Iron Fist coverage can be crazy. It's not too slow, so it's very usable. Its abilities, I mean, Iron Fist is the real ability. It's like the only ability you really care about on this thing. Other than that, I mean, Keen Eye, whatever. So, you have better ability than Hitmonlee, but I think Hitmonlee's stats are just better, and Hitmonlee still has, like, Blaze Kick coverage, which is great. Fire coverage is great there. You're gonna have, every fighting type's gonna have, like, Rock Slide and things, so. But having all the elemental punches, having Ice Punch, Thunder Punch is really cool. I could almost put them above. But I think, before physical special split, he's bad. Like, bad. But after physical special split, he gets pretty good. So I'll throw him in A tier as well. Heracross is going to be one of the first S tiers. The bug typing, being able to snipe out psychic types is crazy. It also has Guts. It can also have Moxie, which is ridiculous. I guess it's hidden ability. But Swarm's also a fine ability for its Mega Horns. The added bug typing is just crazy. It just gives it so much more. It's strong, it's fast, it's still got some good bulk to it. But yeah, Guts and all of the things above, just throw it in the S tier to me. You can usually get it pretty early in a couple of games too. Like obviously Gold and Silver or Heart Gold Soul Silver. You just have but trees and you get it. It's just like why do you have it so early? Same with Platinum. You can get it from a honey tree and just get it really early sometimes, and it's just like easy S tier Pokemon there. Hitmontop. It's like one of the only few defensive fighting types, but like, in Technician is also really good. The bulk, the offense with Technician or the defense with Intimidate, I think it puts it pretty good. I think it's very flexible, which is really cool from fighting type, and it's one of the bulky fighting types. It's also not like stupid slow, so I like it. I think I'd throw it in the A tier. I could even bump all this down if I want to. I might bump down a little bit just to like spread some things out a little bit more, but I feel like all the Hitmons they're all A tier. They're all very solid. They do exactly what we need to do. So there is a speed boost Blaziken in X and Y you can get, but it's a gift Pokemon, so I don't really want to count it. Just how I don't like counting gift Pokemon. I feel like they're too niche to rate. The gift Speed Boost Blaziken is like here, but normal Blaziken is crippled, if not a dud. It's too slow. It's too frail. The firefighting's great, but it's so outdone. It gets so outdone, and even then, like, you're gonna be better off with a fighting type that's faster or bulkier that has fire coverage, like one of these two, honestly. And even like Machamp gets Fire Punch later, so I guess that's another reason why Hitmonchan's not like super good. You get the elemental punches by level up at least, but like everyone else is gonna get elemental punches, so I guess that's another reason why Hitmonchan's maybe not the best. I'll put it at the bottom of the Hitmons. I'll probably put Hitmon at top, I think, fittingly. Brellum's an S tier. You can get Spore, which is great, but just the 130 attack with, you know, like Stab, Mach Punch, and also the Grass typing means you can kind of like support yourself, like Leech Seed, Stun Spore, and Spore means you have like all these utility options with it as well. And then you know, physical special split, you have the Grass coverage, which is great. Quad weakness to flying is whatever. No fighting type really wants to fight a flying type anyways, so I don't really count that against it. Funny enough, I think Hariyama's also an S tier, and I think it's because of Belly Drum. I guess I didn't put Poliwrath in S tier because of Belly Drum either. But Hariyama's bulkier than Poliwrath and hits harder and has guts. I think Hariyama's just like, yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, Fake Out's cool. Fake Out can be really cool too. But I think just the bulk and Thick Fat is cool. The bulk, Belly Drum, and once you get like Belly Drum and like Drain Punch, you're ridiculous. But like Belly Drum Rest is fine. It's bulky enough that you don't even have to do anything else. After Belly Drum, you can kind of just Belly Drum and like be okay for a while. Thick Fat and Guts. It's just Guts. It's just such a big, useful ability. Even Guts with Belly Drum, like it's fine. Just throw on a pre-poison yourself, throw on a Citrus Berry or something, and you're fine. Or if you have Drain Punch, it's ridiculous. I think this thing could just hit so hard. It's so reliable. Maybe not S tier, maybe the top of A tier. I'm jumping between here. Something along these lines. I'll probably leave the top A for now. I think I like it more than the Machamp. I'll say that much. But yeah, I guess I'll leave like at the top of A tier. The king of A tier. Medicham. I feel like Pure Power Medicham has to go S tier. But I also don't really know if I want to put it S tier. I think I will. Yeah, it can just have ridiculous power. It could just hit so hard. It could be like the strongest hitting thing you'll ever get in the game. So I feel like it has to be S tier. Just for the power you can dish out. Plus elemental punches, plus psychic coverage, which is cool, and you're not actually weak to psychic, which is really cool. Also, you can be like, yeah, you can. I mean, not that you're gonna use it against the psychic type, but you can just take it. And you also have like Shadow. It's like a fighting type that can learn Shadow Ball in earlier generations, like Generation 3. So you actually could snipe out you can snipe out ghost types or psychic types pretty decently with that, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think S tier is fine with it. Infernape, the best firefighting type in my opinion, although Emboar is pretty close, but it's way better than Blaziken. And when you get Power Up Punch and you have like Taunt, U-Turn, Stealth Rock, there's so much things that make this thing crazy, and both offensively and like utility wise. Like you could use like utility offense, which is just crazy. So I had to put it S tier. Lucario. I think I want to put this thing I feel like the steel typing boosted in the S tier. It's a really good fighting type. There are some really good fighting types. I'm gonna put this near the top. Just the steel typing alone gives it such an interesting niche because it can be used defensively without having to have any defensive stats purely because of the steel type, and that's that good. You're not weak to psychic. You're not weak to flying, which is no other fighting type has that. Literally no other fighting type has that. It has both of those, which is just crazy. So you're a fighting type who's not weak to anything fighting-wise. And I feel like that alone puts you S tier. Plus he's got the boosting and like Aura Sphere and sword, and it's like extreme speed, so he can boost with Nasty Plot or Swords Dance. And yeah, he's got so many moves. So many moves. Bullet Punch, yeah, easily S tier. Toxicroak is... I kind of want to just put Crippled, honestly. I don't think it's that crazy. Poison fighting is interesting, but his stats just aren't that good. Really, I think that's just how I feel. I feel like his stats just are not that great. Dry Skin's cool for the water. You get healed off water moves. That's cool. Anticipation is, yeah. I feel like Dry Skin is the real niche to it, but it's not that strong. It's not that fast. It's very frail. So I think it's like stats wise, it's kind of like Primeape, where it's just very underwhelming. I'll probably put it like, I guess I like it more than Blaze Skin just because of Dry Skin. Dry Skin just gives it that one more niche. Gallade. I think Gallade is possibly S tier. See, I like Gallade more than I like Medicham, so maybe I want to pull Medicham down. But I feel like Gallade is just like it's like a Psychic type Hitmonlee, which is great. I mean, it's got some cool coverage like Leaf Blade, Psycho Cut, Shadow Sneak, which is really cool. It's also a great user of Bulk Up. It's definitely better than Hitmonlee, but I don't know if it's quite S tier. It is fast. It's decently fast. 80 speed's fine. I feel like if it had an ability, it would be a little better. So I'm gonna put it at the top of A tier with Hariyama, and I think Medicham should come down too. Actually, I think I will bring it down. It's not bulky, and it's not too fast. Like Gallade's bulkier than it is, so it's a nuke button, but like every fighting type is a nuke button. So I'll leave it like here. I guess I'll put them above Hariyama. And yeah, I'll leave it like that. Emboar is... You get Flame Charge to patch your speed and you're bulky, so you could turn into a monster, and I feel like that could put you S tier. Maybe just A tier. I think just A tier. I think the fact that Infernape doesn't have to do anything to be threatening, while Emboar you have to patch your speed with Flame Charge. Just makes a difference. But I think this is looking good for these guys. I could even pull Infernape down to be right next to Emboar. I think they're right next to each other. They're both very solid firefighting types, but I think just the immediacy of Infernape and also like Stealth Rocks and stuff gives it the edge, in my opinion at least. Girder, I think it's Machoke. It's Machoke. Is this thing like any better than Machoke, honestly? Which one's better? Let me look at them. Has 105 attack, more bulk. Okay, Girder's just a better. It's just a better Machoke, and you have Guts or you have Sheer Force. Yeah, you're just a better Machoke. And you have Eviolite that generation, so Eviolite Girder is actually really good. I could almost put it in Awesome, but I think I'll put the king of B tier. While Conkeldurr is just better than the Machamp, absolutely. I don't know if it's better than Hariyama. It might be. I might be overrating Hariyama a little bit. Guts or Sheer Force. It has 140 attack, which, yeah, why is this thing? It's S tier. This thing's S tier. You can even get Iron Fists for a hidden ability, but like, yeah, Guts, amazing ability. Sheer Force, amazing ability. The bulk is great, 140 attack. I think it's the highest attack stat out of like any fighting type. Yeah, it's literally the highest attack stat out of any fighting type ever. So it's the most threatening by, yeah, absolutely S tier. Throw is like, it's like Girder, but without Eviolite. So it's not as bulky, so it's a worse Girder. It has Guts, which is great. But I would even put Machoke over it, just because Machoke can also get Eviolite. Or even like something with no guard. And it's like just as bulky. It's like, yeah, with Eviolite, it's like just as bulky as Machoke. If not less bulky, honestly. Probably less bulky, gonna be honest. And it hits the exact same. Yeah, it's the exact same attack stat. So yeah, I think it's worse than these guys. It's worse than Poliwrath too. Honestly, It's not quite crippled. It still has like decent bulk and guts, can make it hit hard. I'll put it at the bottom of B. Sock is... Man, Sock's a Hitmonlee too. Honestly, it's just a Hitmonlee. This thing's got 125 attack, so it's a little stronger than Hitmonlee. And it's a slightly slower, but it's also better physical bulk. It's like Hitmonlee. It's like a more balanced out defensively Hitmonlee. But yeah, even it's great. It also doesn't really have an amazing ability, just like Hitmonlee, so I think together, yeah, they're great. You get this thing really early in black and white too, which is great. It's so great. It can just like solo the early game and carry you super hard through the game. Very solid Pokemon. Post fairies, this thing is S tier. With fairies, this thing gets nerfed so hard. But defensive fighting type, fighting dark is great typing still, even with fairy typing, and Moxie is great. So I'm gonna put it right in front of Hitmontop, I think, as like a defensive fighting type. See, Mienshao, that speed, that power, regenerator, free S tier. Free S tier. 105 speed, you're the fastest fighting type yet. 125, so you're just as strong as like Sock and stuff, so you're still hitting really hard. Are you the fastest fighting type yet, or is Infernape faster actually? You are faster than Infernape. Really? Really? Wait, let me check myself. Let me check myself real quick. Double check this. Infernape is 108. Okay, so Infernape's faster than you, but the second fastest fighting type. Yeah, you're very fast. Regenerator's ridiculous. Regenerator might be the best ability in Nuzlocke, to be honest. It's easily S tier. I could put it. I'm actually gonna put it. I think Heracross is the best so far, but Mienshao, you get it really late, I guess, which hurts. Breloom you usually get it early. Lucario you can get pretty early. I guess I'll put it here. I'll put it here. I like that. I like that spot for it. Chestnut. What does Chestnut do? I have to like. Let me just look up. Really, just like glance at this thing real quick. Like, what is this thing supposed to do? Grass fighting is like okay. But like, Breloom has like Technician, which makes it hit really hard. I guess I forgot to talk about that, but Technician Breloom just is crazy too. Gives even more power. Like, what does Chestnut do? Which is so funny because like almost every other grass fighting type is good, just not this one. Like you're very defensively bulky. Spiky Shield is cool, I guess, but 107 attack. Why is this thing so weak? Why is it so weak? I'm going to put it in the crippled tier. Not quite a dud. Not quite a dud. I think like the defensiveness is cool. Spiky Shield is cool. But it's just so like, why does it not have a massive attack stat? Like, why is it not like 120 attack or something? Like, why is it 107? That's so sad. Honestly, I think Primate's better than it. I'll put it like, yeah, I like that. Pangoro's kind of another Pokemon that's just like, I don't really know what it does. It can have Iron Fist or Mold Breaker. Okay, that's really cool. It's your typical bulky fighting type. The dark typing is cool. Iron Fist. It doesn't work for Sucker Punch, does it? Not Sucker Punch, okay. But Mold Breaker could be really cool. Okay, those are good abilities. I'll put it at least B tier. Throw it like around here. Yeah, I like that. It's not anything special, necessarily, but definitely not bad. Definitely not bad. Honestly, Iron Fist just does so much for it. Fighting types with Iron Fist are just so good. Maybe I should put it up here. I will. I'm gonna put it right. I'm gonna put it with Hitmonchan. Maybe even above Hitmonchan, I think. Yeah, I think so. Hawlucha. The flying typing is crazy. Fighting and flying is just crazy. Unburden is really good too when you have like gems and stuff. So Hawlucha could be just stupid fast. You're the fastest unboosted. Limber's still great. Limber's still a fine ability. It's like a useful ability. Other fighting types like Hitmonlee have hit Limber too, but I think Unburden, just being able to completely boost speed, like nothing's outspeeding you, and the flying typing is just interesting. But you don't hit hard. You do have like, I know you can always do Swords Dance and stuff, and the flying typing, you know, maybe A tier. Maybe just A tier because you are, like, you're probably the weakest hitting fighting type on this list so far. And that's notable. That's notable for sure. I think I'll leave it A tier for that. The typing's super unique though. Super, super unique and be really good. Because you want to fly, a lot of times you want a flying type and you want a fighting type. So having both in one slot could be super cool. Like just for your Nuzlocke team building, that is super neat. That is super useful. Claw bomb. What is this thing's name? I actually don't even know what this thing's name is. This one is a bomba crab. No, that's one. What is it called? What is this thing called? I was spacing its name so hard. Crabominable. Okay, that's what I knew. It was like a bomba crab something. A bomba crab. Crabominable. This thing, ice fighting, is crazy. Crazy coverage. Hypercutter's good. You can have Iron Fist too. Iron Fist, Stab, Drain Punch, and Ice Punch. That's looking pretty good. 132 attack. You got some okay bulk on you. I think you're like Pangoro. I think you're above Pangoro, right? That's what I think. You can snipe out with the flying types. I mean, they're gonna hit you first, which sucks, but like Iron Fist, Stab, Ice Punch with Drain Punch as well. Seems pretty good. That seems really good to me. A tier. I could even put them. I could almost like pull some of these guys down to. I could almost pull these guys down to B tier or to D tier. Pull these guys down to C tier, and then have B tier be a couple of these guys to spread A tier out a little bit. I kind of want to do that. I think I will. I'm gonna pull these guys down. So crippled, but they're still pretty good. B tier, yeah, I'll pull like some of the Iron Fist guys that are not super spectacular. I'll probably pull these guys down too. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe this. That's looking pretty good. The gap between these two tiers is not very far. I'll tell you that much. It's not very far at all. Let's see. Beware. Normal type doesn't. I mean, being immune to ghost is neat, but fluffy. Fluffy is really cool, and this thing still hits just as hard as every other fighting type does. Yeah, fluffy. Just fire weakness, whatever. But boosting your defense that much just makes it so tanky. It takes half damage from contact moves. Okay, so that changes things a little bit, but I'm thinking B tier. I think it's just a solid B tier. A somewhat defensive, somewhat offensive. Yeah, I guess it's like it's one of the bulkier Pokemon because of Fluffy. The fire type weakness I don't think is that big of a deal, honestly. The normal typing doesn't really do much to help. The ghost immunity's cool, I guess, but like, what are you really doing with it? So it's got some cool things that don't really work with each other as well as you'd hope. But I like it. I still like it. I mean, Fluffy is just so good. You can utilize Fluffy so well on a Nuzlocke, so I think B tier. Yeah. Throw it with these guys. Maybe here. No, I think Battle Ready's fine. Let's see, who else? Passimian. Defiance is really good and competitive, really niche in a playthrough because you just don't want it to intimidate Pokemon that much. It's got some okay bulk to it. It's got Gallade speed. I don't think it's any better than. It's not definitely not A tier. What does Receiver do? Let me double check this. Receiver does copies the ability of an ally that faints. Oh, that's so niche. That's so niche. It's like a decently fast fighting type. What does it have? 120 attack. Okay, so it's like Primate but better. So I'll put it C tier. Sure. Yeah, I like C tier. I think that's fine. Maybe B tier. It's one of these. I'm gonna leave it C tier. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it C tier. It's not quite as fast as like these two are. It's a little slower. They're hitting just as hard, if not harder. They're just as bulky. I feel like Receiver is such a trash ability, honestly. That's so trash. Like, when are you ever gonna use that? It's so niche. I'm sure you could figure something out. Like, I'm sure there's probably some interesting strategy of like, oh, you grab a Pokemon, you take a sack with a really good ability, sack it, and then Passimian gets like Moxie or something. Sure, there you go. Sure, but you have to sack a Pokemon to let that be used. Nah, it's C tier to me. Silvally. So Silvally is going to be on all of these lists because with the drive or whatever, it could be that type. And it could be... It's going to have a great fighting type stab. Probably better fighting type stab than anything else besides like close combat. And you can build it however you want. It can be bulky. It can have a lot of coverage. And I think that alone... I feel like Silvally is always A tier. Just always A tier. Just the coverage you can get. You can build it however you want. You can EV it however you want. Or it's just 95 across the board is great. It's hitting decently hard. It's got good bulk, it's got good speed, it's got good special attack. It can be a special attacking fighting type, which is pretty lacking here. You've got like 2, maybe 3 with Mian Xiao. So yeah, I think it belongs in the A tier. Como-O. It's really bulky, which I like. Bulky dragon type with the fighting type is pretty cool. You can like snipe steel types. You get your dragon type that can just like blow up steel types. It can also be a fine special attacker, and then I think clanging scales is just really good. Bulletproof and soundproof are both useful. Like they're niche, but they're useful. You're just immune to some moves, which is cool. And I think it's clanging scales. No, not clanging scales. What's the move that Clangorous Soul loses 33% of max HP, but +1 to all stats. It's like a different belly drum. How is that not S tier? How is that not S tier? This is probably the best Pokemon thus far, actually. This thing's crazy. It's a pseudo legendary too, so like of course it's this good. All right, Graplocked is sad. I love this thing, but I don't think it's very good at all. It's probably a dud tier. I mean, Octolock is whatever. It's so whatever. It's sad, but this thing's moves are not. Its stats are not that great. It's like weaker than other fighting types. It's so slow. Yeah, is Octolock really worth using? The answer is probably no. Traps target, lowers special defense and special defense by 1 turn, or by 1 each turn. I mean, I guess it's okay for wall breaking. I'll put it C tier. You kind of get it late in Sword and Shield, but it could be good for wall breaking, I guess. You know, if depending on whatever you run, if there's just something you're just so scared of, you Octolock, traps the target in. So not that AI switches anyways, but and just lowering defense to set up a kill for something else. That's okay. It's got some niche. I'll keep it in C tier, but I'll put it like up here with like Toxicroak for like the niche part of in the D tier. Sorry, Blaziken fans, but yeah, it's here. Phalanx. Dude, no retreat is awesome. You trap yourself in, which is really scary. But like when you boost yourself, you don't really want to ever switch out anyways. And you can't, which sucks, but also battle armor is great. So you boost yourself with no retreat, which raises all stats by 1. And so you raise everything by 1. You're already decently bulky, okay speed. Not very great attack. Like you're pretty okay stats, but getting +1 to everything, you don't lose any health. Like Clangorous Soul. That's such a weird move to say. But you don't lose any health. You have battle armor, so you cannot be crit. So you actually are very reliable damage. I feel like it's just the pure reliability of this thing, and then you also have cool moves like your First Impression, which can be really cool. Mega Horn. You got some fun coverage. I have to put this at least B tier, if not A, honestly. It comes kind of late, but I feel like it's just so... If it had better stats, I'd put it A. I'm gonna put it B tier. I think it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, Surfetched. Let's take a look here. Steadfast, whatever. 135, so it's the second strongest fighting type. And you do have the leak. You can still run the leak on it, which raises your crit by 2. That's crazy. I mean, it's got some decent bulk too. And it can learn flying moves, so you can like Dynamax fly. I mean, people usually don't do Dynamax in their Nuzlocks. So I guess that depends. You can't really fix your speed, can you? That's sad. Because normal Farfetch'd was able to learn agility. I can't believe he can't learn agility. You have like you can learn like First Impression, Brave Bird. I feel like just the attack stat and the crit rate, you're gonna hit so ridiculously hard that I have to put you S tier. The +2 crit rate. Steadfast is like whatever. It's the leak. The leak changes everything. A critical hit ratio is just raised by two stages plus the 135 attack. Off of like, oh yeah, you're killing everything. You're just destroying everything. And you have moves like Leaf Blade to have crit rate and stuff. Yeah, I have to put S tier. That damage potential is crazy. So I am counting Urshifu, because if you just go do Isle of Armor, you just get a Kung Fu, and then you could like complete that, get Urshifu, and you have it for the rest of your game. So you can. It's not really a legendary, I guess. This Pokemon's kind of confusing, but this thing is S tier. Whether you use the Dark type one or the Water type one, hitting through Protect is just cool. It's better for competitive. This is very competitive sound Pokemon, but it's fast. It's actually really fast for like in-game playthroughs. It hits so hard. It's got amazing defense too. This thing's just, it's ridiculous. Urshifu is Urshifu. If you don't know, I don't know what to tell you. And plus you have like Sucker Punch, Wicked Blow, or Aqua Jet Surging Strikes, which is just like such crazy moves. It's so crazy. Yeah, easily S tier. Probably just the best, yeah. Honestly, this thing is, I almost put it Goddess tier, but I think there's one Pokemon that's just the better. Alright, so now on to the Legends Arceus Pokemon. The worst fighting type has to be Hisuian Decidueye. I know its signature move can like lower defense, but whatever. This thing's so slow. It doesn't hit that hard. It's not bulky. Like, it's really not that bulky at all. It's cool. I love Decidueye. It's cool, but like 112 attack. It's not that. It's not, I guess, super frail. It's got okay bulk, but it's, yeah. Why is it? Why are you slow? But it's like well-rounded, but it's not good at anything. It's not good at anything, and I don't think it's like. It just doesn't have anything going for it. Honestly, literally nothing. Like flying coverage is cool. Sure, cool. Whatever. All right, Sneasler. Crazy stats. Poison fighting type. I think it's got to be A tier at least. A tier, if not S tier, just because of its stats. Like it's so fast. It's so strong. 130 off that speed. That's the same attack stat as Breloom. Okay, 120 speed. This is the fastest thing yet. Super fast, super strong. Fighting poison. You're sniping fairy types. I gotta put it S tier. I gotta put it S tier. And the Goddess. Lilligant, Hisuian Lilligant is the goddess of all fighting types, and honestly of all Pokemon. Solely because Victory Dance. Victory Dance is so stupid. You power up your defense, you power up your attack, and you also power up the damage you're gonna do, and you have Drain Punch on this thing, and Leaf Blade, and Sleep Powder, and when abilities come back, it's gonna have Chlorophyll, so it's gonna be a sun fighting type. It's fast, it's strong, like, this thing is just ridiculous. It's not the most, like, it's not the strongest thing on the list, but it still has, what? I mean, 105, okay. So 105, not the strongest thing on the list, but just Victory Dance. Victory Dance is so stupid. So stupid. Plus, you're gonna have, like, Stab Petal Blizzard, Stab Seed Bomb, Stab Solar Blade when you're a Sun Sweeper. The Sun Sweeping fighting type was Solar Blade. Even if Victory Dance doesn't come back, like, this thing's still gonna be would be like S tier. But Victory Dance in Arceus is so ridiculous. It's the most overpowered move of any video game I've ever seen in my life. It's ridiculous. So this is the queen. This is the goddess of fighting types thus far. And I think that does it for the list. Yeah. So I don't think like these Pokemon are bad. Like Toxicroak and Blaziken are like pretty okay. I'll probably switch it around like this. Like they're pretty okay Pokemon. I think I rank them like B tier, C tier in their games. So they're not like trash. But just in comparison to other fighting types, I don't really. Everything else is just better. I know people are gonna be mad about me putting Blaziken below like Machoke and Girder. This is okay. This is Machoke with Eviolite. Machoke without Eviolite, it's down here. All right, let's behind Blaziken. Okay, let's clarify that. This is Machoke with Eviolite. That is why it's there. That's why Girder's there. Like Girder, you get it with Eviolite, so like yeah, that's why it's there. But Machoke without Eviolite would be down here. Would be like here. But with Eviolite is there. All right, let's just clear that air up, clear that water up. I guess Poliwrath could be a little bit better. I'm kind of underrating it. Maybe it's B tier. It does have Belly Drum. It does have some utility. Maybe it's B tier. I'll put it at the top of C tier. I'll leave it like that. And I guess I'll pull you down to there. Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave that. I like that. I like how that looks. And yeah, that's going to be the list, guys. Thanks for tuning in this video. Catch y'all later.